Hi Submarine friends. Well, it's back in the big shop, which is not heated, but it's pretty warm these days. I think it's like plus 8 degrees Celsius right now. So I actually had to move it out of the house shop now because the ground is still frozen and I have to travel across my lawn to get to the door to that shop because it's only used twice a year to put a project in and take a project out. So I just go across my lawn, and it's on the hillside, so it's a little sketchy. And it's going to be really muddy here any day now. So it's in here, as you can see, and tomorrow I will start to weld the front section on and the forward ballast tank. I'll have to take that conning tower off. It's just tack welded on there, and I have to finish it. Like, this is a nasty cut here. I didn't do any work to it. I just set it on to see what it would look like. So I've got to do some grinding so that it fits on there. And once the front is on and the forward ballast tank is on, then I can weld that conning tower on. I want to put it on as late as possible because it's just more difficult to get in and out of the submarine with that piece on there. It'll only be this tall without it, so it's much easier to get in and out. And I have to get in and out of it like 1,000 times to finish this thing. So I'll probably wait till the bitter end to weld that on. I may just get it test fit and get it so that it fits properly, and then I'll just set it aside. So this is pretty exciting. I got lots of room in here. I can grind, I can weld, I can do whatever I want in here. My press is right there. So it's going to come together fast now. I'm actually really considering putting a fuel tank right here on the outside instead of having the fuel inside. I've never liked that idea. It's just, you know, sometimes it makes sense in my mind and sometimes it doesn't. But I've got a 30-pound propane tank outside. I could mount that right here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a fiberglass cover over all this. So it'll come from here, right? It'll actually come above this point, so the hatch is behind that fiberglass cover. And it's going to wrap around, and it's just going to have a hole where each of these windows are. And it's going to wrap around and then come to a taper in the back here. So I can actually put a fuel tank back there, and it'll be hidden. The only thing that's bad about that is I'm putting weight on the top of the submarine. But if I have a smaller fuel tank capacity, I really don't know how big of a capacity I need. So I could start with a 30-pound tank and see how it goes. I can always make changes down the road. And another thing is, I've got all the deck built for this already. It's just sitting outside, and it's a pretty heavy metal deck. So what I could do is I could cut holes in that deck and replace it with fiberglass. So the main structure is intact, but it has fiberglass panels on top. That would reduce the weight greatly, which would offset the weight of the fuel tank. So I'm sure it's okay to put the fuel tank up there anyways. It's just, it goes against the rules of building a submarine. No weight up here, lots of weight down there. So that you always have to think of that when you're building a submarine. But this thing has so much volume, and there's going to be so much ballast weight in the bottom, I can afford to have some weight on the top. Like, this is all way heavier than it needs to be. But I like that. So anyways, tomorrow we shift gears and we start grinding this to prep it for welding, and we could stick the front end on, get it welded up. I got to do a bunch of practice welding and do some bend testing to make sure that my procedure is correct. And I don't like to weld stuff like this without doing some sample welds and a bend test to make sure that it's going to work properly. I'm not a welder by trade, so I have to be extra careful. And I can roll the submarine 45 degrees each way, so I don't have to weld upside down at least. I only have to weld uphill on about a 45-degree angle. So that's not so bad. I don't like welding straight up, and I don't like welding upside down. So that'll help. But I'll get her welded on there. It'll be good. I'll take my time. So that's it for today. It was a big job getting this over here. Luckily my wife was here to help. My crane fired up, no problem. I love my crane. Boy, if you ever want to do a project like this, buy a crane. Boy, that thing is just a cat's ass. It picks this thing up like nothing. That is so nice. So anyways, that's it for today. Ciao.